So welcome everyone. Again, this session is deals with responsible AI and compliant AI in practice. Our erudite speaker is Justin Brochetti. He's the CEO and co-founder of Intelligence Factory. And we'll delve into practical frameworks for mitigating risks, ensuring data security, fostering trust, while maintaining the flexibility needed to drive business outcomes. So quite a mouthful there, but interesting topic. We'll have 15 minutes for the speaker, last 5 minutes for Q&A. Feel free to post your questions on the Q&A tab of your Zoom chat, and we'll collate them and then handle it towards the end. So over to you, Justin.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the setup. Thank you again for the honor of speaking at this event. I do not take it lightly at all. I'm amongst some quite astounding people in the industry. There's quite a breadth and depth in technology and industry here. I do want to mention Dr. Castro. I don't know if everybody in the audience got a chance to see his piece, but what a visionary as an MD and MBA to forge a path in AI and technology and have that crossover. Such credibility. But if you haven't gotten a chance to see that, I strongly encourage you watch a replay just to get his perspective. But I am Justin Brochetti. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Intelligence Factory. My company is at the forefront right now of transforming industries through AI, but always with a focus on safety and compliance. That is our mantra through and through. I am, like I said, the CEO and co-founder. I believe that AI can transform industries, but it's built on a foundation really of safety, compliance, and also trust. So today I wanted to explore a crucial topic, maybe a little different from the topics you've heard previously, and it's how do we balance innovation in AI with integrity and regulatory compliance, with a heavy focus on the integrity side of things, because business just isn't about dollars and cents these days. It's also about trust. So we all know that AI is evolving faster than ever, but if security, ethics, and regulations are not addressed properly, organizations, they face serious risks. Well, I mean, we all know it. There's legal risks, financial risks, and reputational risks. So let's dive in. And we are witnessing probably the pinnacle, the golden age, if you will, of an AI revolution. One that's reshaping industries from healthcare to defense, to manufacturing, to pharmaceuticals. So on one side, you have AI that's bringing groundbreaking advancements. Some specifics, right, is it's revolutionizing healthcare with automating diagnoses, improving patient outcomes. And I think I even read that there's technology being driven to prolong life. I mean, what a day to be alive. But also on the manufacturing side of things, the predictive model, the twin model, predicting equipment failures before they happen, predicting problems and saving money and risk all at the same time, but also empowering business just as a whole. And if your business isn't using AI, I think it's kind of fate that you're here listening to me right now. Because when it comes to empowering business, making data-driven decisions faster than ever before has never been more prevalent on the top of people's minds. So not to quote an overly done movie, but with great power comes great responsibility, if you catch my drift. The risks of AI misuse are very real. We all know it. We all see it in the news. We see it on X. We see it on LinkedIn. Data breaches and compliance failures can result in severe financial and legal penalties. I think we all know this as business owners and pioneers. But bias in AI creates unethical and inaccurate outputs, which can harm the trust in your system or the system that you work within. And that's a little bit more subtle. So the other facet to that, and the one that's most prevalent for manufacturing and for healthcare specifically, is a lack of explainability can sometimes be a risk as well. which can make AI decisions difficult to audit or regulate. So the big question, right, is how do we embrace AI's potential while ensuring security, compliance, and that word, integrity? So let's look at some real world compliance challenges with the three major sectors that I talked about. So in healthcare, you have what we call HIPAA compliance. And my background is steeped in healthcare. Before being a CEO and co-founder of Intelligence Factory, I was the chief growth officer for a medical software and device company that worked directly with hospitals, insurance providers, and doctors and practices of all shapes and sizes. So HIPAA compliance is one of those risk factors that has to be managed and mitigated because it involves patient data. And I can tell you that a single data breach in healthcare and insurance can lead to millions of dollars in fines and permanent reputational damage. I think there's a lot going on with United Healthcare in the media, but I want to go back to a use case in 2022 where the year as a whole, healthcare breaches of data cost $10.1 million per incident on average. And it's the highest across all industries. So in healthcare, pharmaceutical is part of that. We have to be very careful, but then also manufacturing and proprietary data. So manufacturers have designs, blueprints, and all of that has to remain secure. I mean, that's the lifeblood. That's the secret sauce, if you will, for companies who do that. So if you can imagine the intellectual property behind somebody's sophisticated drug production system being leaked to another industry, another company, a competitor, another country, that could be competitive disaster for that company. And then, of course, we've got defense and national security, which military AI systems rely on secure, confidential data as well. I'm based out of Orlando, Florida, and we just had a conference called ITSEC, which is the largest conference for third-party training and augmented reality systems, simulation craft, and things like that. And the big buzz is how can we protect confidential data for the government while still leveraging some of the power? So what's clear in all this, right? What does this all mean? It means that compliance is not optional. You do not get to ignore it. It's critical to trust, it's critical to security, and it's vital to the sustainability of what you're doing and what we're trying to do as an industry, because we affect each other. So let's talk about LLMs. That's what everybody has experience with in AI. And if you're new to artificial intelligence and wondering, how am I going to apply artificial intelligence to my company? I'm really excited about it. Well, let's start with the low-hanging fruit. Large language models like OpenAI, ChatGPT, and other generative AI systems are extremely powerful. We all know that. They're widely used, but they have some serious problems built into them. You have data leakage risk. So many AI services store user inputs that can be used later for future model training. So what that means is that specifically OpenAI, as an example, has a terms explicitly saying that they may use your data for future AI improvements within OpenAI's business. So this means that anything sensitive that gets submitted to that platform could resurface in another user's query, another user's response. So this creates huge risks, right? And then you've got regulatory conflicts with large language models. So if you send HIPAA protected health data to a public LLM, you're violating compliance laws there. So imagine a hospital billing team uses ChatGPT for claim assistance. They put in patient detail, knowing exposing protected health information is happening. And then OpenAI may retain that information. And then on the next update, that patient data pops up on somebody else's computer miles away. Not a fun picture, right? So So how do we leverage AI safely without falling into these traps? So at Intelligence Factory, my company, we've got systems in place. These are platforms that we leverage to be able to safely distribute and help companies leverage artificial intelligence. So if you don't know this already, there are 3 modes of artificial intelligence delivery. So if we're a vendor of artificial intelligence and you're a buyer and you're looking to incorporate artificial intelligence into your company, you can do it one of 3 ways. You can either A, buy integrated software with already existing AI components. It's out of the box, it's ready to go, it's plug and play. Typically, it's very compliant and risk averse. The reality, though, is that everybody can buy it. So you're not really given any edge based on the competitive landscape. Then you have API calling, which is your second option. So that's a creative way for in-house development teams to pull AI into your system as a company. But that requires a black box approach to AI. So you don't really know what the AI company is giving you. You just know you're reaching in and pulling AI out. So it could be risky. But what we do at Intelligence Factory is we install a platform into companies to help them build their own AI to scale internally, safely, and in a compliant way. So some of the advantages to doing this is you have local AI deployment. So instead of sending data to external LLMs, what we do is we deploy AI models inside of your infrastructure. This means that no sensitive data leaves your control and is consumed by any large language models or any other proprietary data seekers. We also use a hybrid vector ontology model, which means that we have a framework built around Buffaly, which is a computer platform that we deploy in your ecosystem that combines LLMs with structured knowledge bases to improve accuracy, but it prevents hallucinations because Buffaly acts as a layer of insulation between any consumption from a large language model. It's there to protect and guide. SemDB, which is another one of our platforms, instead of AI accessing your raw data, we generate API calls and SQL queries to retrieve insights. So it ensures that AI never directly touches your stored sensitive information. And so what we found is that with this triangle of security, this approach allows organizations to harness AI power for themselves without compromising security or compliance by trying to incorporate all of the raw power of AI. So our solution, though, is not just theoretical. We're making a real world impact across various industries. So in healthcare, we've helped specifically companies like a company called Medec Health Systems, which is in remote patient monitoring. We help them revolutionize their medical billing process. Our AI systems handle their complex claims, reduce their errors, and accelerate the insurance reimbursement process, all while staying fully compliant with HIPAA. We've been in the aviation space. Our technology is being used to streamline maintenance, repair, and overhaul operations, MRO, which allows us to put technology in the hands of ground crew that need to make quick decisions to get planes back into the air. And that ensures safety and airworthiness of aircrafts over the long term, again, without the risk of compliance issues or mismanagement of data. And then we've also specialized in developing advanced call analysis systems that can understand customer conversations, identify needs, and provide personalized support. These systems, like our brand new open source Feeding Frenzy CRM system, are trained to protect sensitive information and prevent data leaks. Little spoiler alert, we're actually making our AI infused CRM open source February 15th. And we're providing all of these resources that you are hearing within that computer software. But in a realm of review analysis, Our AI can extract valuable insights from customer feedback without ever exposing personal information. And that's the point. Responsible AI is not just about avoiding negative consequences. It's about unlocking immense positive value. When you build AI systems that are ethical, transparent, and compliant, you earn the trust of your clients, your partners, and regulators, which is really important. You significantly reduce the risk of facing costly fines, lawsuits, and irreparable damage to your brand's reputation. And most importantly, by addressing these concerns up front, you pave the way for truly groundbreaking innovation. So you free yourself and your company to explore the full potential of AI without being held back by ethical and legal roadblocks. So if you're going to integrate this kind of power, especially in the GxP world, I would encourage you to be proactive. Okay, from a thought leader, someone who's done a lot with compliance and risk management in federally compliant risk management areas, there are 3 questions you can ask yourself to get yourself started if you're thinking about harnessing AI as a powerful source to take your company into the future. The first question, who do you currently have in your team right now that is thinking about compliance with regards to AI? They may be a great person to champion and shepherd AI into your company. Could be a great fit. Second question, are you prepared to take the necessary steps to keep AI safe and compliant as you leverage its power? And then third, what has stopped you right now from incorporating AI into your company so far? Okay, if you can address these key questions and be very real with yourself. Sometimes fear is one of those outliers that tends to interfere. These key questions can help you with a great starting point for scope and planning when it comes to integrating AI into your company or your systems. So compliance and risk has a lot to do with AI system support. And for the purposes of manufacturing specifically, audit trails to ensure accountability, that's a little hint. You're going to need that to show how data validation occurs within your workflows. You have to show how you prevent errors in sensitive manufacturing processes, period, case close. Otherwise, you run the risk of data exposure and compliance issues long-term. And we all just don't have buckets of money to shell out for fines. So at Intelligence Factory, me personally and my team here, our commitment to our industry, the AI industry, is to help businesses leverage AI responsibly. I want to make this clear. We're not in this to make money first. We're in this to help companies figure out what they need to do to use AI in a safe, reliable, and trustworthy way. If we can meet you on your level and provide a service in the process, great. But that is not why we're in business, and that is our value system. So if you would like to collaborate with me, I welcome it. I'm excited to work with you, even if it's just to pick my brain about what your company does and how best to include AI in the future. But shaping a future with AI will empower your company. But you have to ask yourself, always, am I compromising my integrity? So it's with great privilege that I was able to present this to you. And I would love to hear any thoughts, any questions, anything you guys have at the top of your mind. I would love to open it up for any questions or dialogue.
Justin, one quick question I have. In terms of data security, right? Or in terms of, and that's the integrity that you were just referring to. There are many, I think, as the not only few industries, but as the AI domain itself, it will progress and it will get matured, right? There will be a lot of regulations around it. right?
Yeah,
Like, for example, in Europe, now we have GDPR, right? That
mm,
the data should not go out of Europe, right?
that's right.
And these are the things, just it is not even the beginning. It's going to go more and more like that
That's
once
right.
AI is going to, make a big impact. It's already making a big impact, but once it gets a little bit matured, the compliance will be a key thing. So
Hmm.
how do you address, or how would your company deal with those challenges in terms of the regulations that are brought again and again, and yeah,
Constantly evolving compliance and
yeah,
constantly evolving legislation and management rules on how you're going to use AI.
yeah,
You bring up such a great point because this isn't about the now. This isn't about just taking AI and incorporating it in and making a quick buck, right? The
yeah,
reason we're having these conversations, these summits, is because people want to be equipped for the future. And the
mhm,
future isn't just a year from now, but it's 5 to 10 years from now, even
right,
20 years from now when their kids are getting involved. But by then, the government entities, the legislation, and the control systems will already be in place for added compliance measures. So how do we get started with that?
yeah,
And from a standpoint of someone who's had to do it from the ground up, finding a person within your corporate structure to be in charge of or to handle a lot of the incoming regulations that will slowly start to creep in is a great strategy. I
right,
know that no business owner has extra time. We just don't have extra time floating around. But for me as a CEO, it's very important that I have someone that I trust as my right hand in AI. So having an AI specialist in your company, if you're serious about rolling it out and for it to be a tangible, viable, powerful tool to be used in the future, you're going to have someone that's responsible for the care, the implementation, and then what he pointed out, the protection, right? Having
yeah,
someone watch your back for when a rule is being broken or when you're flirting with disaster when it comes to process management, or maybe when you're skirting the edge behind, transparency, or if your data is mismanaged or mishandled and you're working with a client, that transparency, that ability to come clean, if you will, there's a process there involved. So now, right now, the compliance and regulations aren't too overwhelming. So it's a
yeah,
great time right now to form a division or make a body inside of your company responsible for the compliance and risk management for AI as a whole. I would also encourage everybody on this call that's watching me, please take advantage of free resources by way of classes online. There's various universities that offer free courses on the basics behind AI, and most of your basics in AI courses that are online typically last anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, very manageable, and they get into compliance right away. So you don't have to sit and wait for how do I protect myself. You can feel confident with that. And then the last thing I would suggest is you need to partner with an AI company. Doesn't have to be us, but you need to partner with an AI vendor to help yourself understand what it's like to go from non-AI to AI enabled and fully automated. That mode of delivery is going to be vital. So I would strongly encourage you to partner with a company that has high degree of resources when it comes to compliance understanding and is willing to teach you what it takes to be fully compliant and not just reach into your pocket and grab cash.
yeah,
Very, very important that you find a company like that because they are out there.
yeah. No, great points. All the 3 points that you mentioned, Justin, were really, really great. On that note, I would just like to add, same thing recently. People who know, there's a company called Zoho,
Oh,
and the founder of Zoho, Sridhar Vembu, he's from India, and what he did recently, it's amazing how in a short span of time he kind of helped the people who are deserving, but they didn't have the resources.
Yeah.
But he gave them opportunity to work and build their careers and things like that. But Sridhar Vembu, recently he resigned as a CEO of Zoho. And the reason being, to your point, he said, I want to do R&D in AI, and I want to completely concentrate on that, you know.
Yes.
So
It's so good. It's so good. You know, companies and you see it all the time in the news, and people talk about, oh, big business and AI and how everybody's seeking a dollar bill now, and it's going to be monetized very quickly, and the purity of it all is going to go away. And I would argue that that's actually not the case. I think that at the top level, most of your CEOs and leaders in industry for AI companies and AI capable companies recognize the fact that this is our fire moment. Back when we were first getting our foothold in on this planet, fire was one of the most critical elements to our existence. It helped shape us as a humanity, and it's responsible for virtually everything that we have, from ignition in airlines all the way to your microprocessors. Fire is a component that all of that was built off of. Where we are going now, specifically right now, is that same type of innovation and explosion of potential. It's a very fire starter moment for us. And that's what they mean in the industry when they say fire starter moment. But going along with that, we also know that with fire, you can be burned. And so protection is really important. So again, find someone in your company who cares deeply about your safety and protection as a corporation. Find a company that is an AI thought leader or has AI capabilities to help glean some reference from. And then also get into some classes. Find your way via online classes and just learn as much as you can right now.
Yeah, I know we are over time, but I'll take one question which is in the group.
Sure.
How do you assess the trustworthiness of an AI response in your technology stack? How do you know the next question won't include a hallucination?
So the questions that we reference whenever a data set is queried, our proprietary software Buffaly will actually stop the process of the query interrogation and back up if it references something that is incorrect. So whenever a fragment is defined in the SQL Server and it's given a definition with our protoscript through our ontology structure, as the data set is being queried, our software Buffaly will take it step by step through the query, through the sentence of the query, to make sure that all of the fragments are identified correctly. And then as those fragments start to identify and correlate, Buffaly will take every incremental step with that correlation to verify it against a normal large language model. And again, if it doesn't validate through a checks and balances system, it will immediately back up to the previous step in the query. Oh, I think you might be on mute.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Mr. Frank, if that answers your question, you can give a thumbs up. Here you go. Thank you.
That's
Thank
fantastic.
You, Thank you, Mr. Justin.
I want to say that I was saying this backstage. Nagesh and the whole team, yourself included, you guys have been absolutely first class in producing one of the best webinars I've ever been a part of, I've ever seen. So I've been online since 1, and it has been a phenomenal production.
Well, thank you, Justin. Appreciate you being there on all the sessions, and your session, of course, was one of the best sessions that we had today. Honored to have you with us here, and when we'll have our next webinars, we'll definitely would like you to be the part of that. So
It would be my pleasure. My pleasure.
So once again, I want to thank you on behalf of XLM, on behalf of Nakeshji, on behalf of the entire team, for your time and efforts and, giving us such a nice presentation, Justin.
Oh, thank you very much. I look forward to speaking again.
Yep, thank you. And thank you to all the participants as well. Thank you for your time. We'll switch to the next session. Thank you, guys. Take care.